Good morning, everyone. Thank you to be here with me for this webinar. I share with you my presentation so we can start to talk about our subject. First thing, thank you to BIM R&B Africa to invite us to show you our project, the Morocco Digital Roadmap. So my name is Annalisa de Maestri. I'm Italian, I'm an engineer, but I live in France. I think now it's my third year in France. I started my career in design, working for Philippe Stark, and later I had the opportunity to work in an extraordinary project in BIM. Was Frank Gehry Fondation Louis Vuitton. We will talk about that after. Since 2008, I've been working in digital building application. I've been at the head of several companies, and I'm currently the head of VP BIM, a company specialized on BIM, generative design, execution study, and now AI for application, construction application. I'm here today to explain you our work with My African Competition ONG, so I'm a representative member of this association. And please, if after this meeting you want to share with me some information, experience, return, so please do not hesitate to contact me in LinkedIn. It's simple, it's my name, Annalisa de Maestri. You can find me really quickly. About my experience, I joined this adventure with My African Competition because I would like to share with them my experience around the world on BIM and create something not new but simple to use for this country to start to work on BIM. So my first meeting with BIM was the Fondation Louis Vuitton, I think 2008, 2009. This project, it's a huge project, very complicated. You cannot build that without 3D, without BIM information. The second big project was really a huge experience to understand how the BIM work in digital application for buildings and for infrastructure was the 2020 Dubai Metro extension. And the last project connect me with BIM and with Africa was the Orange headquarters for Orange was the project on Abidjan in Ivory Coast, and this project was a really huge example about how you can adapt all your previous experience, complicate the big project, a lot of different application of BIM to a new country and to adapt that to the local possibility, to the local understanding of how BIM is. So about My African Competition ONG, I would like just to share with you some information about us. It's a no-profit organization based on Morocco. It was funded by Italian and Morocco professionals work around the world and of course in Africa too. The objectives of our organization are to transfer the know-how in order to support African professionals to align themselves with the latest technology and innovation. Another point is to generalize the concept of a smart city, a big subject for the future, and support the institution to develop state regulation to allow better management of urban space. Another point, really important for us, is to assist African students to develop their knowledge and improve their skills. Last point is to support the professional in their new work method, like BIM, but not just the BIM, digital work application, and integrate digitalization technology into work process. To do that, of course, we initiate and support research and development projects. Another thing is what we do. We do a lot of things now. We have a website. I hope you saw websites and the LinkedIn address. So do not hesitate to visit this website and connect with us on LinkedIn. But what we do first thing, a different partnership. Of course, we have some huge partner. Thank you to them to support us, like H Software, H Italia, Pininfarina, Università degli Studi di Firenze, USC, and for example, Made in It. A lot of these partners help us to develop different webinars like BIM for Facilities or Smart City, but they also help us to create some training program like the BIM Facility Management Master will start this month in Morocco. And another thing we do with our partners, for example, with our partner ABEX, is another association working for BIM, is to create realities, building smart reality in Morocco. So today, to explain you why we arrive until to create a Morocco Digital Roadmap, I would like to explain you our vision about this changement. How the picture show you, for us to change is a chance, but it's not so easy to make a step in something new. It's not so easy to create a new reality in a digital world, in buildings and infrastructure. So our world now is in a real revolution in terms of people, in terms of technology, in terms of management, in terms of everything. Because we make a big step to normal numerization using AutoCAD 2D with another word is the data world. We are all confronted with one major change in methodology and approach, and we think we need to manage that in order to be mastered. We don't want just to know how that works. We want to be the master of the process. We want to be our own master, and we want to help the other to be their master of the project. So, for example, if I show you my personal experience today, I work in a group, which is originally an architectural group, who decided some years ago to make a different step, and create a structure with a lot of different companies working together. And these companies are like engineer company, architect company, and that's not so usual in France. But we was obliged to do that because we understand around us the world changed, so we cannot stay in the same methodology to work, because the construction world asks us to be more like Anglo-Saxon world. So that was unusual in France, but we decide to make this step, and the integration of new technology in our business in this moment have been an evidence and an opportunity to support our evolution. Our choice also had to face the changes in the market and demand of customers, and we was obliged to adapt really quickly our vision and our position for the future. And we understand really quickly the digital world was a help for us. Why we understand that? Because if you think of the situation in France, for example, since 12 years, BIM has come into the building and infrastructure market that is a spontaneous and voluntary way. The first step in BIM in France is not something you are obliged to do. It's voluntary. So we make a lot of these steps in 12 years, and slowly the state, the government changed the idea. So now we have a plan for next 2 years to connect all our projects in BIM and create like a reality and not just a voluntary thing. So our market increase with new technology. We create new offers, we create new position, we create a new category of professionals. And now what's up? We are 2 years to the government decision. We are ready, but that's not enough. Our client ask us more and more, ask us to go far with the technology, because in 12 years they understand we don't need just a government paper who explain us we are obliged to do BIM. We want to do that because we understand that can be connected to a lot of different new action, new proposal for our clients. So we started to have a new configuration in our work, and our customer ask us to be more and more performance. They had some criteria labels. They asked us to reduce the cost because the technology, because we can use that, because we can be more faster. We can be. They ask us to have a speed construction site, reduce the errors, and everything is more and more complicated. So of course we need something new to help us to manage this complexity. So our client understand the same things. We don't need to wait too much to make a first step in a new direction, because we don't have now the same request like 5 or 10 years ago. Our requests are really increased from the past. But how we can deal with this change? I want to show you something. I don't know if you have saw before this picture, but in this picture you can find a pencil. It's not just a pencil like the other one, that is the oldest pencil on the world. A real example of efficiency, performance, and that's all. It's huge. Dr. Andy Needham, sorry for the name, of the University of York, one discovered that in England. So for me, it's a very significant object and helps us to build a bigger picture of what life was like in the area. It's nice. It's a real image of performance. It's something can live forever. But that's not what we need now. And the strangest thing happened in our work, it's we want to implement new process, new way, new technology, but we are always attached to our old management methods. Innovating in management is not longer based on adopting concepts straight to huge university, but is something contrary who need to be managed and practiced. So we need to be in a new mental configuration. That's why I call that management of change, because the BIM, digital construction, is not just a question about technology or how we use the technology, but it's about how we think now with the new technology. So if you're obliged to be more performant, if you want to be more innovative, we cannot do that with a whole pencil. So another thing is really important to create all the steps we need to implement the BIM is to change the way we implement our project. And that's for that I like the idea of drawing a parallel with music to make my point. Think of an orchestra. It's made of various instruments. Every instrument can play alone, but we all know the real symphony can be created just if all instruments work together. And that's the point. BIM and digital oblige that to be one unit who create one point of information, coordinating information, to create the first virtual building before everything, before construction, before FM, really before everything. So we cannot imagine to manage our information, our life, our work in the same way like the past. So we are obliged to think about the BIM in a new way. And how you can see in this picture, there are nobody in the center of the picture. Because we don't need just a person who manage this instrument together. We need something more. And the something more is the data management. So the next step of our work to connect our reality in BIM, it's based on two major points. Change management, or management of change. It's depending how we want to understand that. And of course, make a step back to look this new reality and understand your position in this orchestra and work together with all the other professionals on this new world. So we take time to talk about philosophy, why we think about BIM implementation, why we have to do that, in which way. And now it's the time to explain you why we create this Morocco Digital Roadmap, connected all the points I explained you before with the Morocco reality. So I show you something perfect. That's the reality of construction industry in Morocco. So first thing, 7% of gross domestic product coming from construction industry. In the country now, we have $4 billion of investment on construction, and 1 million of people work on construction industry. That means the digital changement is not a small reality. It's a 7% of the gross domestic product. So it's not something we can do like a normal changement or just a new procedure. We have to think about all the changement we have to create to make these new steps. So starting from that, we decide to collect different experience of our colleagues in France, in Africa, in Morocco, around the world, and create, starting from this experience and analyze the reality in Morocco, a roadmap concerning BIM and digital for the country, and to help the country to work internal and external, because one huge thing in Morocco is they work a lot with different countries around already on BIM. But what's happened? The Morocco don't work for the Morocco way to work. The Morocco work like all the reality they have around. So now we need to take all this reality and create a unit point, a central point to develop a real strategy for the future. So we created a Morocco Digital Roadmap with 3 major objectives. The first thing is to create Morocco BIM guidelines. General one, but coordinated. Second, support the institution. We know to support the development of BIM, of course, you need to understand why you can have benefits, and all our clients need to understand why we need that for their benefits. But to have a real, organized and unique diffusion of the BIM in a country, we need the support of the institution. And the last thing is we do that to create the basis for the standard BIM for Morocco. That doesn't mean we recreate all the standards. The idea is to find what's work for Morocco and describe that to give real a base for the future. So in this roadmap, we wrote all the guidelines for the implementation of essential steps for deployment of BIM in Morocco. What does that mean? First thing, we describe the principles and the procedures to be deployed step by step for deployment of a national BIM approach. Second thing, we wrote some documentary recommendation. Which kind of document we need, why, in which moment, who need to write these documents, and all information like that. Third step, talking about standards. As I told you before, the idea is not to create new standard, it's to give to the institution some example of countries, international countries around the world, and talk about what's really worked, what doesn't work, what needs to be refounded, what can be taken like that. And last step, we had some feedback, not just about standard, but about how the project work around the world, to help the institution to find their place and to find a way to test that and approve to create some process, institutional process on BIM and digital. I would like to give you some more information about this document and what you can find inside the roadmap. Of course, we start with an analysis about the market and the connected market. For example, the country work with Morocco, like France, Belgium, Canada, Senegal, Ivory Coast, and all these countries are connected by the market. So it was important for us to explain the position of the Morocco business in BIM, in digital, connected with all the other business. Another point was really we were developing on this roadmap is, for example, all the advantage for the final client or for the institution to develop BIM in different scale for different objectives. For example, economy, for sustainability, for development of new business, for example, for opening to new markets. Continuing this way, we developed some points about how they can better know all the buildings already built, the heritage patrimony. That's in terms of buildings, but in terms of infrastructure too. Another thing it's really developed on this document, it's everything concerning the building information modeling itself, about process technology, contract, how you can connect all the different contractors, subcontractors in the process, the designers and the client itself. And for that, we developed some example in the first part, but some proposal to implement this process inside the country. For example, for the university masters or some training, private training. But it's a part of a big picture to explain all the cost and the return of investment that can be developed for the Morocco implementation. And the last point, two last point we have on this document. One, it's about how they can test in real all the theoretic application we propose. For example, which we get a project, they can test the kind of test, the measurement they can do, the institution can do. And another thing is the last thing we had in this document. It's about the planning, the implementation planning, for which one we need to finish all the document, and when we have to create first test, return of the test, analysis, and adapt all the documents. That's a little bit ambitious, but I think today it's necessary to have this kind of strategy for a country to better develop the digital and digital business practice in the country, for the institution, but for the private too, private market, of course. So before to leave you here, I would like just to give some more information about our work. Actually, we are working with the Moroccan public institution concerned by this approach to define the details of this document and the future steps necessary for this implementation. That's a great opportunity to us to develop what we wrote in the Morocco Digital Roadmap, and I hope we can talk in the next meeting about the implementation and about the next step we do with the institution. I think now you better understand our vision, our position, and why we make all of these steps to arrive to this Morocco roadmap. But some points are really important for us, and one special is the vision and the position we can have in front of new technology. What is our position? The new technology can help us, yes or not? So I want to just to talk with you about this last month. Don't think about digital like a barrier. Technology is not a barrier. Technology don't take your power. It must about give power to be more creative, more efficient, to better know your buildings and use the information for facility management. That's a real power. Data is the power. The way you manage this data can create for you power. So I think we go to the 2D to the 3D very quickly. Now we are in a phase where we use the 3D to make optimization, automatization. The next step is IoT and AI for new development. Before to do all of these things, we need to think about how we can make all the steps, how we can make all the steps together. So for us, it's not just about an implementation. For us, the BIM is not just about softwares. It's about technology, of course, management, of course, but people before everything. So for all of these changements, I think the right moment to start is now. That's why we create this roadmap on this moment. Now, because a lot of countries have a lot of experience and feedbacks about what works and what doesn't work. So why we cannot use that to create a new reality in a country who now need to make the first step on digital and BIM. And second thing is the right moment, because now we better understand what data means, how we can use data, how we can develop more skills, more information, more benefits starting from this information created in a process, in a collaborative process like BIM is. So I would like to say thank you again to BIM R&B Africa, BIM Africa and BIM Community Africa for this invitation, and I hope to meet you in the real life or LinkedIn or internet to exchange about all of this experience of BIM. So thank you again and see you soon. Bye.